What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Vechain today, VET. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, guys. We're going to start off on the 1 hour time frame and then build our way out to the weekly, maybe even in the monthly time frames, okay? Shout out to Alex Crypto. This request is at your request, my friend. We're doing this for you. So here we are at about 2.78 cents with, I think, like 8 hours or 7 hours and 40 minutes left in the day, something like that. Let's see. 7 hours, 42 minutes left in the day. 1 hour time frame here. To me, it does look rather bearish. You've got this RSI down in the oversold area. You are finding support at the oversold zone, rejecting the 40. Getting into the oversold zone, rejecting the 40. Trying to get another attempt up there to prove that you're ready to go higher, rejecting the 40. You look like you want to go lower. I would think if you were to bounce here, you would have done so already. Let's just look at your relative low to high here. Below the golden ratio, yeah, finding resistance. That's not a good look. Typically, you would actually expect that you go maybe even to your extensions with something like this. Finding resistance to the golden ratio like that after finding support, yeah, I think we'll see. But you have a solid chance of going down to the extensions here, which would be at about 2.56 to 2.42 cents. Okay, something like that could happen. And that's fine if you do. It's fine if you do. This could be some kind of a bear flag where you're moving down like this and you flagged out, right? So if this is a bear flag, let's just see actually what that measurement would be from a high here to a low. And this is just the short-term stuff, nothing to be scared of. Okay, nothing. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It doesn't have to go down here either. There's no promise of this happening. But let's put those fibs back on, low to high. Yeah, that's like right in the area you would expect. Measure moves are just ideas too, so you could go through it. Maybe you find support right at the golden ratio. You could stop just shy of it, finding support right at the 1272, but I'm pretty convinced you're going to go lower. Looks like a bear flag, smells like a bear flag. Fibs agree, RSI agrees, lower. Best case scenario is you at least would go down to 2.72. If you can hold that as support and then, oops, that was a little bit too low. If you can hold that as support and then get back above the golden ratio at 2.85 cents, let's say, 2.85, if you can get above there, then you're good. If you hold 2.72 and you get above 2.85, good. You're not going lower. But if not, if you go below that line on a closing basis on a 1 hour time frame or higher, you're probably going down to this zone between 2.56 to 2.42 cents, which is not a big deal. Again, from this price, like imagine Bitcoin drops 5%. You're going to drop 8%. Okay. You're going to drop 13%. Okay, that makes sense. It's nothing crazy. Bitcoin could drop 5% from here. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying if that happens, a little volatility never hurt anybody. Let's actually keep that on there and zoom out, and let's just see what this would look like right here. We'll just actually, you know what? I'm going to circle this whole zone is what I'm going to do. Circle it. We're just going to circle that zone right there because I would expect you probably do move down something like this, right, in this kind of time frame. Maybe we'll move the circle over a little bit, right, something like this, unless you just move down super fast. Go out to the 4 hour time frame here. Delete the fibs, zoom out. Daily time frame. It kind of looks like you'd be falling out of this upward range here, but maybe that's what it takes, man. Maybe a little capitulation. You know, a lot of people focus on lines like this, these diagonal lines. They focus on these lines and they think that they mean everything. Oh yeah, you're definitely going to break out of this, man. Absolutely. And then people think that because of that, oh, we're out of the uptrend, we're going to zero. But then it's right then that you rip and you go to the upside. It's actually the best time to buy. It's like this, right? Imagine this from here, from this low, you had this line right here. Let's just draw it real quick. You had that line right there. You broke that. Was it the end of the uptrend? No, you continued upwards. That's all. You know, you went lower. That was the best time to buy. It was actually below this line. We're basically at that area now where you're going to be at the best time to buy. And what I also noticed was this does actually come in line pretty well. Let me see if you see it on the 4 hour time. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, comes in line pretty well with that, doesn't it? Oh, you saw it for a second though. I'll redraw it. Right, comes in line pretty well with that. Kind of makes, and if we shave it up a little bit, make it look a little bit better, a little neater. Maybe something like that, yeah. Perfect. Literally perfect, yeah. So something between, what is that, like 2.5 cents to 2.4 cents, 4 or 5 cents? 2.42 I think was the low, 2.5 to 2.42 cents, something like that. 2.55. If I have to say 2 point anything again, I'm going to blow my head off. Low to high. 2.575 to 2.44. I think it should be 2.42, so maybe this fib is off a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, 2.42, 2.56. That's the area. I'm done saying 2 point anything from now on. I'm just going to not talk if we have targets down there. I'm just going to be like, nope, we're moving on. You would think you'd find support here, right? You would think you would because it's higher lows, but notice what you're doing, right? And this is a telltale sign of what's about to happen, right? Support, nice. support, nice. Support, oh, not so nice. Different behavior begets different results. It's that easy sometimes. Not always is it this easy, but moments like this, I mean, dude, I'm more than 90% confident that this thing is going to go to the downside at this point, right? You're definitely destined to see some kind of a move down. Probably more than 8%, probably less than 14%, right? Something like that. That's what we're expecting. From here, 2.79 cents. I said it, damn it. Now we're going to zoom out a little bit more. Actually, while we're on the daily time frame, looking at the RSI, it would make sense you go lower. You just rejected the 60. Go down to the 40. Find support there and then move up. Easy, right? You've done that before, right? 60, 40, move on up. You can do that. It's fine. That happens. Yeah. 3-day time frame. Let's look at the weekly time frame. We'll zoom out even more. So yes, you're consolidating overall. What's happening right now, what's happening with this is small potatoes because you just broke out of this long downtrend that you're in, okay? The last time that you broke out of a long downtrend like this here, you broke out, or maybe this was your breakout and you didn't do anything initially, but then you ripped, right? You broke out here, and this is nice. This is a little something initially, but it's nothing too crazy, right? You haven't had your follow through move like these moves, right? You haven't had that. You've got a lot more growth to go, and I very much believe if we look at this as kind of a range, I would anticipate this next move takes you above this range, and you'll probably stay above this range instead of coming back down. It'll be different behavior up here. This time different behavior begets different results will be a good thing, and it'll likely pump you into the end of the year. That's my expectation, right? And that's where you'll see your all-time highs come from, or something like that. Maybe even go above this though. I don't know. I actually haven't done my measurements yet, so let me just see. Let's measure where you're going to go here. The average altcoin is going to do something on the lines of a 200 to a 300% move. I'm pretty sure, or is it 300 to 400%? I can't remember. Let's just do this real quick. We can figure this out, just based off my expectations. Others weekly. We want a high to low. Yes. High to low here. We're going to go somewhere between. Oh yeah, we're going to see new all-time highs. That's right. Okay, hold on. High to low here. Okay, so a little bit higher than, okay. So yeah, something between about, for the average altcoin, we're going to see 212% to yes, something between here, 340%. Okay, so 3 to 4.5x, something like that, right? Vechain, I would think, performs at least on average. Let's see how you've done so far from a low in April, right? That was your April low, right? Oh no, that's your March low. Okay. April low. April low would have been, oh, that is your April. Okay, it wasn't, my bad. April low, 57%. Okay, so that is about average. You're up 57%. The average altcoin, I'm pretty sure, is up a little bit less than that, low to high. 53%, yeah, so about average. So then I would anticipate that Vechain probably sees something on the lines of a 3x to a 4.5x, right? Something like that. And from its current price, a 3x, let's just see, hold on. Okay, I'm going to delete that. We're going to put on a new one. 3x would put you all the way up at your golden ratio. So you would be right above this area, like I was saying, getting ready to consolidate, right? That could make sense. Maybe you stop right there at 8.5 cents. Maybe you go up a little bit higher to 10 cents, and that's a nice psychological area. There's a strong bit of reasoning that we could find resistance here at 8.5 to 10.5 cents. Okay, I'm not saying that's where it is, but let's say this is your primary target zone. Okay, that's where you're going to go. If you don't stop there, the next area would be the 786. Likely you would stop right at the 786. If not, maybe go all the way up to the 886. Oftentimes with this, it's not so much a zone. The white zone is kind of a zone in itself, so you can stop anywhere in between. But oftentimes with the 786 or the 886, you kind of just stop at one line or the other. Okay, and if you variate from that, you don't really go like in the middle of the zone. You're just like slightly wick above or below. So either you're going to see something on the lines of a 3x to a 3.8x, or something on the lines of a 5x to almost a 7x. Yeah, something like that. Going as high as 19 cents. This is by the end of June. These are the expectations by the end of June, if not early July. So you'd be somewhere in this zone up here. And then from there, consolidate going into July and August. And then from August going forward, you'll start to break out. And I think that's where you will see your new all-time highs, probably taking you, I would think, at least to $1.68 overall, right? And from the current price, let's see what that does. That's above average performance there, man. That's above average performance. So for a coin that's performing on average, the only reason I'm saying that is because I like a lot of, as far as altcoins go, I like the 1618 to the 2272 for a lot of coins. It makes a lot of sense. And oftentimes that's what we see from a prior cycle's high to a cycle low, bear market low, bull cycle high. Oftentimes we do see the golden ratio to the 2272 being targets that we hit. That doesn't mean we have to. Sometimes you stop at the 1414 areas. Very rarely, I mean, if you see new all-time highs, it's very rare that you don't hit the 1272, but you would at least hit the 1414 most of the time. And that 1414, that is a bit more average, and $1 could provide psychological resistance. So if I had to guess where Vechain's going to stop by the end of the cycle, I would say something between $1 to $1.70, I guess, would be my best guess. Could it see higher targets? Sure, but I doubt it. I doubt it, at least this cycle. Maybe in time, just not this cycle. So we're looking at something, you know, by the way of the fibs, the minimum would be 60 cents. By the way of the C-Zar, the minimum would be about a 35x. And then the maximum would be something on the lines like a 60x, 62x, something like that. I got nothing else for you guys. 2.79 cents now. You're probably going to drop. You're probably going to see like an 8 to 14% drop over the coming days. And then next week to end the month, to go into next month of June, it's going to be a phenomenal time. We're going to rally. The whole market's going to rally. So just a little patience here. Do not FOMO. Do not panic sell. And just buy more, if anything, or sit on your hands. But I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.